When Cat Stevens announced his conversion to Islam in 1977, I was pleased for him and admired his spirit and his integrity and belief. I still do. When in 1979 he announced that he was selling off all his guitars for charity and giving up music, my reaction, selfishly, was abject dismay. Not, of course, because he was following his path into educational and philanthropic causes in the Muslim community, but because that flow of wonderful music would suddenly be cut off. Here was the performer whose 1972 album Catch Bullet 4 sold 500,000 copies in the first 2 weeks of release alone, and whose single, The First Cut Is the Deepest, has been a hit for 4 different artists. Here was the guy who could make up hit songs humming while he washed the dishes. He stated that he had all the music he needed in the Quran, and I bit the bullet that I would never hear a new song from him again. But really, I just wanted to hear more songs, like the ones I love so much, like Into White and Sad Lisa. As a convert, he had to decide to sing or not to sing. The Imam in the mosque in London said there was no problem, but other brothers told him there was a consensus that music was haram, forbidden. He decided to tread carefully and gave it up. It was 9/11 that stirred him to begin to change his mind. He saw that the extremes had been exposed, and he believed it was important for the Muslim community to build bridges back to the middle ground. He began to sing Peace Train again, just a cappella, but it was a start. Then enter his son. He didn't say anything to his father, just brought a guitar into the house and left it lying around. Father and son. It's a touching story. Yusuf describes how he picked the instrument up, began strumming, and was amazed that he could still remember all the chords to his songs of years before. Now he says, yes, there is haram music, sex and drugs and rock and roll, but there's also halal music. Of his own songs, Yusuf says, I tell stories. I try to tell true stories. It's about how people live and what their problems are, how we love and fall into trouble and bleed and laugh. There are only 2 types of stories, those about leaving home and those about coming back. In 2006, he came back to pop music with his first album of new pop songs in 28 years, entitled An Other Cup. He's continued to record, even writing a musical, Moonshadow. I'm glad he has a guitar in his hands again, and I'm glad that he's still following his spiritual path, still providing us with a shining example of how to live and relate to each other, so pleased that his work for peace has been recognized around the world. So happy that he's showing us the real nature of Islam, still inviting us all to ride on the peace train.